Hi everyone, welcome to the series of lectures on signals and systems. In the last class, we started the discussion on the properties of the Fourier transforms. So we completed 5 properties of the Fourier transforms. In this class also, we are going to discuss the remaining properties of the Fourier transforms. So in this sequence, the next property we are going to discuss is the sixth property, which is our time shifting property. So which is your time shifting property of the Fourier transforms. So this is your time shifting property of the Fourier transforms. So first I will write the statements. So after that we prove the statement. So these properties are very important. If you want to solve the problems, so you should have the command over the properties. So the statement is like this: if the time domain signal x of t is given to you, so its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then the time shifting property states that, so if you perform the shifting operation on your input signal x of t, so whether the shift is right shift or left shift, so let us consider the right hand side shifting operation. This is your right hand side shifting operation. So later we generalize this shifting operation. First I will consider the right hand side shifting operation, that is x of t minus t naught. Your input signal, your signal is delayed by t naught units. That means your signal x of t is shifted towards the right hand side by t naught units. That is your time shifting operation. Now when you perform the time shifting operation on your input signal, so what is the corresponding Fourier transform? So what is the corresponding Fourier transform? So this is your time shifting property. We need to find the Fourier transform of this signal. So how we are going to prove this one? So you already know the Fourier transform of a continuous time signal. So what is the Fourier transform of a continuous time signal? So it is x of j omega, that is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of t, it is a time domain signal, into e power minus j omega t dt. So this is what? So this is the Fourier transform of your time domain signal x of t. For this is the formula. But I want to find the Fourier transform of your x of t minus t naught. For that, what is the Fourier transform? It is x dash of j omega. So I want to find the Fourier transform of the shifted signal, which is x of t minus t naught. This is your right hand side shifting operation. For this, so what is your Fourier transform? It is let it be x dash of j omega. So what is x dash of j omega? So infinity, integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So your signal is what? X of t minus t naught. So e power minus j omega t dt. So that is the formula. So instead of x of t, here I write the x of t minus t naught. So the Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught is what? So x dash of j omega. I want to represent this formula in terms of the standard formula. This is your standard formula. For that, I just consider t minus t naught by a variable. So let us consider the variable is tau, or you can take any variable, tau or p or x, whatever, you can take any variable. Here x is there, no need to take x. You can take any variable other than the x. So let us replace this t minus t naught by the tau. So whenever you replace t minus t naught by tau, so the entire equation here in terms of t is going to transform to tau, Now what are my limits for tau? What is my lower limit for tau? So previously the lower limit for t is minus infinity. Now the limit is changed to t to tau. Now what is my lower limit for tau? Tau is t minus t naught. So when you substitute in the place of t minus infinity, so you will get to tau is minus infinity. So what is the upper limit for tau? Upper limit for tau is infinity, because here the upper limit for t is infinity, your tau is t minus t naught. So when you substitute t in the place of t infinity, so you should get upper limit as tau is equal to infinity. So x of tau, so this is your equation, x of tau into, so e power minus j omega. So what is t here? Here t is replaced by tau minus tau plus t naught, tau plus t naught, that is your t from this equation. So what is your t? Your t is nothing but tau plus t naught. So I just replace t by tau plus t naught. Now what is small change in dt? From this equation, the small change in dt is what? The small change in the tau. Here t naught is the shifting operator, which is the constant value. So derivation of the constant is 0. So a small change in t results in a small change in the tau. Here dt is replaced by what? Dt is replaced by d tau. Dt is replaced by d tau. So how can we represent this equation in terms of the standard equation? So integral minus infinity to plus infinity, these are the limits for tau. Here x of tau e power minus j omega tau into d tau. So up to this one. Next in this we have e power minus j omega tau and we have e power j omega t naught. So I will write here e power j omega t naught, separate factor. So this is the separate factor. Now what is this expression? So this is nothing but what? The Fourier transform of your time domain signal x of tau. What is the Fourier transform of the time domain signal x of tau? So it is minus j omega t naught into, so this is what? Fourier transform of your time domain signal x of tau. So what is the Fourier transform of x of tau? The Fourier transform of x of tau is nothing but what? So x of capital X of j omega, capital X of j omega. Now this is your right hand side of, this is your right hand side. Now what is the Fourier transform of your x of t minus t naught, which is your x dash of j omega? So what is this x dash of j omega now? So this x dash of j omega is equal to, so e power minus j omega t naught into capital X of j omega. So that means when you perform the shifting operation, which is of right hand side shifting operation on the input signal, the corresponding signal in the frequency domain is multiplied by a factor of e power minus j omega t naught with x of j omega, with x of j omega. This is your right hand side shifting operation. So similarly if you perform the left hand side shifting operation, so that is your t plus t naught. Here previously we performed the shifting operation right hand side. So this is t minus t naught. T minus t naught is nothing but right hand side shifting operation or the delay operation. You perform the delay operation on your input signal. So you find the Fourier transform of this signal. So we will get what? So the Fourier transform of your delayed signal is what? See, it is multiplied by a factor of e power minus j omega t naught with x of j omega, with x of j omega. We know x of j omega. If you multiply x of j omega by this factor, so we will get the Fourier transform. We will get the Fourier transform. Now I will generalize this case. I will perform the left hand side shifting operation. For that, what is my Fourier transform of x of t plus t naught? Here the Fourier transform of x of t plus t naught is e power j omega t naught times x of j omega. So you can perform this operation. So if you perform the operation, you can get this result. So whenever the shifting is right hand side shifting operation, whenever here minus is there, in this also we will get minus sign. So if the shifting is left hand side, that means we have the plus sign here. So in this also we have the plus sign. Like that you can remember the the results. Like that you can remember the results. This is your the shifting operation. This is your shifting operation. I will generalize the expression, the statement for time shifting operation. I will generalize the statement now. So the generalized statement is like this: if x of t is a continuous time domain signal, so its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then so what is the Fourier transform of x of t plus or minus t naught? So that is your shifting operation. So first I perform the left hand side shifting operation, therefore e power j omega t naught here plus or minus into x of j omega. So this is your the generalized statement for the time shifting operation. Shifting is always two types. One is right hand side shifting operation. This is your right hand side shifting operation. Another one is your left hand side shifting operation. This is your left hand side shifting operation. So first I will consider the right hand side shifting operation. So for that I find the Fourier transform. So I got this value of Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught. So using this I can write the a Fourier transform for left hand side shifting operation like this. This is the left hand side shifting operation, Fourier transform. So using these two I can generalize the statement, so in this way. So this is the generalized statement for the time shifting operation. This is the time shifting operation, time shifting property of the Fourier transforms. Next we will move to the next property of the Fourier transform. So which is your frequency shifting operation, which is your frequency shifting operation. This is your seventh one. So frequency shifting operation. So frequency shifting operation. So we have almost 10 properties are there. Frequency shifting operation. So you need to learn each and every property and remember each and every property. So the properties are very important for solving the problems. So in the later course of the subject we are going to solve the problems on the Fourier transforms. So in that aspect the properties are very important. So without the properties it is not possible to solve the problems. So remember here, without the problems it is not possible to solve the problems. So this is the seventh property, which is the frequency shifting property. Now I will give the statement for frequency shifting property. So the property states in this manner. So if the x of time is a continuous time signal, so its Fourier transform is given x of j omega, then the frequency shifting property states that I want to shift in the frequency domain. For that we need to multiply the corresponding time domain signal by this factor. I just multiply the time domain signal by this factor, Now what is the my Fourier transform of this signal, So this is the frequency shifting property. I want to shift in the frequency domain. So this is your frequency domain signal. So in this I want to get the shift. Whether the shift is right hand side shift or left hand side shift. I want the shift on this frequency domain signal. So to get this shift in the frequency domain signal, we need to multiply this time domain signal by this factor, c power j omega naught t. So when you multiply this factor with your time domain signal, so you should get a shift in the frequency domain. How we will get the shift in the frequency domain, we'll see in the proof. So this is your proof. This is the frequency shifting property. I want to find x dash of j omega. So x dash of j omega is what? The Fourier transform of this signal. Signal is e power j omega naught t into x of t, that is your signal. So I want to find the Fourier transform of this signal, so e power minus j omega t dt. So this is the Fourier transform of this signal. So we already know the Fourier transform of x of t. So what is the Fourier transform of x of t? So it is x of j omega. So this one. So what is x of j omega? So integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this is the Fourier transform of x of t, x of j omega. I want Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t into x of t. For that the Fourier transform is, let us consider it is x dash of j omega. I want to find this x dash of j omega, x dash of j omega. So for that, so you just represent this in terms of the standard form. So in terms of the standard form, so that I can easily write this expression in terms of the x of j omega. So if integral minus infinity to plus infinity, so this is the standard form. X of t is there, here x of t is there. E power j omega naught t into e power minus j omega naught t is what? E power minus, I can write in the standard form, here we have minus sign is there. So I can write these two exponentials in terms of e power minus j, so omega minus omega naught t. So like that I can write here. I just multiply e power j omega naught t into e power minus j omega naught t, and I have written in this manner e power minus j, because in the equation we have e power minus j omega t, e power minus j omega t. For that the transformation is x of j omega. Now it is in the standard form or not? Yes, this is in the standard form. Now what is the, so what is the formula for this equation? So instead of omega, here we have what? Omega minus omega naught. Now this is the formula for x of j omega minus omega naught. So this is the formula. Your x dash of j omega is what now? So your x dash of j omega is nothing but your x of j into omega minus omega naught. So that means what? When you multiply your time domain signal by this factor e power j omega naught t, so the corresponding Fourier transform is shifted right hand side in the frequency domain by omega naught units, by omega naught units. So this is the shifting in the frequency domain. So previously your signal is x of j omega. Now if you multiply your time domain signal by this factor e power j omega naught t, so your corresponding the signal in the frequency domain is shifted by omega naught units towards the right hand side, towards the right hand side. This is your frequency shifting property. Suppose, so if I multiply your signal by e power minus j omega naught t into x of t, so like that if I consider your signal, now what is my answer? What is my x dash of j omega? So my x dash of j omega is nothing but your x of capital X of j of omega plus omega naught. So like that I can get the answer. So here if you multiply your time domain signal by this factor e power minus j omega naught t, previously I multiply your x of t by this factor, so that the corresponding signal in the frequency domain is shifted right hand side, by omega naught units. Here plus sign is there, so in the frequency domain we got the minus sign, right hand side shifting operation. Here I can consider minus sign here, so that the corresponding signal in the frequency domain is shifted left hand side, because here I got the plus sign by omega naught units, by omega naught units. This is your frequency shifting operation, frequency shifting operation. I generalize this statement now for the frequency shifting operation. If x of t is a time domain signal, so its corresponding transform is x of j omega, then the frequency shifting operation states that, so if you multiply your time domain signal by this factor e power j omega naught t, here plus or minus into x of t, so I can get the answer like this. I can get the signal in the frequency domain which is of the frequency shifting. So if it is plus, here you will got minus. If it is minus, here we got plus. So like that the shifting operation will get in the frequency domain. In the frequency domain, this is your frequency shifting operation. So first I will consider the e power j omega naught t into x of t. Later I consider the e power minus j omega naught t into x of t. So later I generalize the shifting operation. So this is your shifting operation. How we are going to get the shift in the frequency domain? This is the shift in the frequency domain. So if you want the shift in the frequency domain, you need to multiply your time domain signal by this exponential e power j omega naught t. So this is your frequency shifting operation. So this is the seventh property of the Fourier transforms. So next we will move on to the next property, that is your time scaling property. This is very important, time scaling property of the Fourier transform. So this is your eighth property, so which is the time scaling property. So if you understand the properties in the case of Fourier series, so the same properties are repeated for the Fourier transforms, and the procedure is also same. Procedure of doing the proof is also same, time scaling property. So there we have the complex exponential Fourier series coefficient. In the case of Fourier series, here we have the Fourier transform of x of t, which is our x of j omega. So first I will write the statement. So after that I will prove this statement. Time scaling property. So if x of t is a continuous time signal given to you, so its Fourier transform is capital X of j omega, capital X of j omega. So the inverse Fourier transform of x of j omega is nothing but what? So x of t, like that we can write in the both ways. So this is the representation for both Fourier transforms and inverse Fourier transform. Fourier transform of x of t is x of j omega. Inverse Fourier transform of x of j omega is nothing but x of t. Fourier transform is a tool to convert the time domain signal into the frequency domain signal. So inverse Fourier transform is a tool to convert the frequency domain signal into the time domain signal. So this is the Fourier transform pairs. So this representation is nothing but Fourier transform pairs. Coming to the time scaling property, so the statement is like this. So for x of t, the Fourier transform is x of j omega. Then, so if you scale your input signal, that is x of at. So we are scaling your input signal x of at. Scaling is nothing but the compression or expansion of the signal in the time domain. I already told you in the case of operations on the signals, what is scaling operation, how we are going to perform the scaling operation. Scaling results the compression or expansion of your signal in the time domain. This is your scaling operation. You just multiply your time by the factor of a, so which results into the time scaling operation. Now what is the corresponding the Fourier transform for this signal? Let us consider this is x dash of j omega. I want to find this x dash of j omega. So already you know the x of j omega. So now I am going to prove this property, time scaling. So if you perform the time scaling operation on your input signal, now what is the corresponding Fourier transform? So we already know the Fourier transform of x of t. So what is the Fourier transform of x of t? It is x of j omega. So every proof is depends on this formula only. So that's why I told you in the introduction part of the Fourier transform, I told two formulas, Fourier transform and inverse Fourier transform. Those two formulas you should remember. So based on those two formulas only, we are going to prove each and every property of the Fourier transform. So this is Fourier transform of x of t, which is x of j omega. So integral, how can you perform this operation? Integral minus infinity plus infinity x of t, your time domain signal e power minus j omega t dt. So this is the Fourier transform of x of t, this one. Now I want the Fourier transform of x of at. For that, what is my Fourier transform? I am assuming this is x dash of j omega. Now the Fourier transform of your x of at, which is the time scaling operation. So if we perform the time scaling operation on our input signal, we will get what? X of at. We will get x of at. The corresponding Fourier transform is x dash of j omega. So integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Now your signal is x of at into e power minus j omega t dt. J omega t dt. So that is the equation. Now I want to find this right hand side. I want to find this x dash of j omega, because I want the Fourier transform of x of at. For that I want to find this x dash of j omega. So to find this x dash of j omega, I want to write this in terms of the standard form. So in terms of the standard form, for that I am assuming this at equal to tau or p. You can assume p here. You can take any variable. I want to transform this equation in terms of the t to p variable. Now the variable is p. Now what is your t here? Your t is p by a. P by a. A small change in dt, so will results in what? 1 by a times the small change in the p. I am just transforming this equation, which is in time domain t, into the p domain, which is the another variable, because I want this expression in terms of the standard form. So for that, what is your x dash of j omega? So x dash of j omega is equal to, now previously these are the limits for t. Now I am going to change this from t domain to p domain. Now what are the new limits for p? Now my p is also ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity, because here t is ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity. Your t is what? P by a. P by a. Therefore your p is also ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity. So here x of p into e power minus j omega. So what is your t? Your t is nothing but p by a into, what is your dt? Your dt is nothing but 1 by a times dp. So that is the equation. So I want to write this in terms of the standard form. So let us see how I am going to write this equation in terms of the standard form. So it is integral minus infinity plus infinity. Here x of p is there. So e power minus j, so omega by a I can write here. So because in the standard form we have e power minus j omega t. Here the variable is p. Here 1 by a going outside. So this is 1 by a into dp. Now let us observe this equation. So let us observe this equation. So from this equation, so 1 by a times, so what is the formula for this equation? So the formula for this equation is x of j omega by a. So instead of omega here, we have omega by a. Therefore I can write here the formula is x of j into omega by a. So this is your right hand side operation. This is your right hand side operation. So this is true for a is greater than 0. The a is greater than 0. So whenever the a is greater than 0, this is true. This is true. Suppose if a is less than 0. Suppose if a is less than 0. So this is the case 1. In the case 1, I considered a is greater than 0. When I considered the a is greater than 0, I got this expression. Which is 1 by a times x of j omega by a. So when a is less than 0, so that means what? Your a is negative. A is less than 0 means what? So a is negative. Your a is negative. So in this formula, so what I can get x dash of j omega. So from this equation, when a is negative, here I got 1 by minus 1 by a integral minus infinity to plus infinity. See our x of p. Here e power, I got e power j omega by a, because a is negative, negative into negative leads to positive into p. Here it is dp, already negative is going here. Now I want to convert this into the standard form, so that minus 1 by a integral minus infinity to plus infinity, your x of p is there, integral minus j. Here I can write minus omega by a into p into dp. So now what is the result of the above equation? 1 by a times it is x of j into minus omega by a, minus omega by a. So let us clearly observe, in the place of omega here we have minus omega by a. Therefore how can I write this expression in terms of the standard form? So it is x of j of minus omega by a, minus omega by a. So whenever a is greater than 0, you got this result. So whenever a is less than 0, so you got this result. So I generalized this case time scaling operation like this. I can get the equation like this: mod a, your x dash of j omega, which is the Fourier transform of your x of at. So is like this: 1 by mod a into x of j into omega by a. So this is your answer. This is your answer, the time scaling operation. I just generalize the case 1 and case 2. In the case 1, I consider a is greater than 0. For that I got this result. So in the case 2, I considered a is less than 0. A is less than 0 means a is negative. So whenever I considered a is negative, I got this equation. So I got this equation. Therefore, I generalize the case 1 and case 2 and write the Fourier transform of your x of at is like this: 1 by mod a x of j omega by a. Here mod a is plus or minus a. So if you take plus a, here you got x of j by omega a. If you take minus a, here you got x of minus j omega by a. So that is the generalized formula. I can write the generalized formula here. So if the time scaling properties, if x of t is the continuous time signal given to you, so its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then the Fourier transform of your x of at is equal to 1 by mod a times your x of j omega by a. So this is the statement for time scaling operation. Time scaling operation. So Fourier transform of x of t is x of j omega. So what is the Fourier transform of your x of at? X of at. So it is nothing but 1 by mod a x of j omega by a. So if a is less than 0, so what is the result? We will get minus 1 by a into x of minus j into omega by a. So if a is less than 0, this is for a is less than 0. Here mod a means it is plus or minus 1. So when we consider plus 1, plus a, or when we consider minus a, so if a is less than 0, we consider minus a. So if a is greater than 0, we consider it is plus 1. So 1 by a, the result is 1 by a into x of j into omega by a. So depends on the scaling operation. So depends on your a value. So you should write the answer. This is your time scaling property of the Fourier transform. So this is your 8th property, which is very, very important. Time scaling property is so very, very important property for the examination point of view. So I will stop the today's class. So we will discuss the remaining properties in the next class. See you all. So I will